Welcome back to the Gourmet Gambit. What is the point of making a video about a beer kit? Well, for one reason, there is a lot of things you can do with a simple beer kit. So in this video we're going to take an Imperial Stout beer kit and I'm going to show you how to improve the flavors, how to boost your alcohol degree, and we're also going to make a triple out of it, which means 3 fermentations by using 2 different types of yeast. I'm with Wort. Let's get started. First we're going to sanitize all our material. I'm using a no-rinse sanitizer, and we're going to sanitize all the things we need for our beer kit. Fill a pan with hot water and we're going to leave our beer kit can in there for 10 minutes. This makes it much more easier to get the malt extract out of there. The stout beer kit I got is 1 kilo sugar for 23 liters. I'm going to replace the normal sugar for 500 grams of spray malt and 500 grams of candy sugar. And to boost our alcohol, I'm going to use another 500 grams of cane sugar. Put about 1 liter of water in a pan and we're going to melt up our cane sugar by warming up the water. No need to get it to the boiling point. Just needs to be warm enough to dissolve. Empty the brew kit in the fermentation bucket and rinse the tin with hot water to get most of your malt extract out. And here you go. We're also gonna put our dissolved candy sugar in there. Warm up 4 liters of water up to 80 degrees of Celsius. Add the hot water to the wort. We're going to stir it up until all the malt extract is dissolved. Add the spray malt. Stir it again. And we're also going to dissolve the cane sugar. No need to get it to the boiling point. Just warm it up to dissolve the sugar. And we're also going to put in a good tablespoon of 100% cocoa powder, and this is going to do a little miracle to the flavors. Check out the temperature. We're going to add cold water to get our 23 liters and also to cool down the wort to about 22 degrees Celsius. And here we are at exactly 23 liters, and it's still a little bit too hot, so we have to wait for a half an hour, 3/4 of an hour to get this down to 22-23 degrees. Now we're going to add some spices to improve the flavors of our stout. We use a hop bag, half a cup of medium toasted wood chips, 2 bay leaves, 1 tablespoon of allspice berries, a cracked nutmeg, 10 cloves, 6 dried rose buttons, half a tablespoon of juniper berries, 1 tablespoon of pink peppercorn and 1 tablespoon of green peppercorn. So here we go. We're going to put a nut in there and in she goes. We're going to stir our wort for quite a while, from above to the bottom, to get a lot of oxygen in there, because your yeast is going to need a lot of oxygen. Another way to get more oxygen in your wort is to get another pan underneath, fill it up and pour it back again. As our temperature goes under 25 degrees, we're good to go for the yeast. Always refer to the notice for the yeast if you put it in directly, or if you have to make a starter. This yeast goes in directly. To mix it a little bit, slowly get it into your wort. We're going to take our first measurement with the hydrometer, give it a swing so the air bubbles won't stick on it. This is up to 1050 density, and that's going to give me a little bit more than 6.5 degree of alcohol. Put on the lid. Then fill the airlock on the right level. You can put normal water in there. I prefer to put my sanitizer in there. little red button up there, and the airlock is in place. Keep your batch in room temperature, and we're going to do a first fermentation that's going to take 3 days. So 3 days have passed, and we're going to siphon the wort in another bucket to start the secondary fermentation. We're also going to add a little bit more sugar to give the yeast some nutrition. And of course, again, we're going to sanitize everything we need to work with. We're going to dissolve 100 grams of sugar in a little bit of water. First we're going to have some lecture with our hydrometer. Give it a steer as always. So we're on a 1020, so it's still fermenting. I'm using what we call the auto siphon, very handy. I'm also going to put on the anti-sediment tip, so all the dead yeast is going to stay in our first bucket. We're going to take our spices and put them into the secondary bucket, and then we'll give it just a good pump, and there it goes. You see the sediments are still in there. We're going to add the dissolved sugar, the 100 grams of sugar dissolved in water, and we're going to add our strain of yeast. Of course, it's a different strain from the first one. Put on the lid. A new airlock. Halfway. A button on there. There you go. And here we go for another 5 days, maybe 1 week of fermentation. Take a measurement with your hydrometer in 4 days time. So another 5 days have passed, and we're going to measure our density. The swing, we are lower than 1010, so it's time to bottle the beer. And of course we got all the materials we need sanitized, our bottles. So again, we're going to siphon the beer into a clean sanitized bucket, so we can easily mix 7 grams per liter of sugar in there for the bottling. And here she goes. So we got 23 liters of beer, so we need 7 grams per liter. That makes it 160 grams for our whole bucket. So when the sugar is fairly dissolved, we're going to steer it through the wort. We're just going to steer it lightly. We don't want too much oxygen that's coming into our wort. All there's left to do then is buttering. You have to push this little pin on the bottom of your beer bottle and then on the siphon. And here you go. So we're going to fill the beer bottles up to 2 centimeters from the top, and then our capsules, very easy. And here you go. Once you bottle all your beers, put them back in the boxes again. 1 week in a warm place, room temperature, to start the third fermentation in the bottle. Then keep them in a cool place, maybe your cave, for another 2 weeks, and they're good to drink. My friends, easy, stout, your signature on it. What do you want more? I hope this video was helpful for you. Thank you for watching, and see you back soon.